Hey guys, welcome back and thanks for tuning in to my review of the Rainier Knives Fast Pack knife. This is one of the smallest, lightest fixed blades I've tried in a while that still has some great functionality and decent ergonomics. And we're going to talk all about it in this review, so stick around. So, full disclosure, as always, the folks over at Rainier Knives did send me this Fast Pack to test and review. I was already interested in it though, so the decision came pretty easily when they said, hey, do you want to take one to try out and do a review on? And here it is. Of course, though, I will always be as honest and forthright about the products I review as I possibly can, dinging it where I need to and praising it where it deserves it. So let's get into this knife and talk about some of the things I like about it, some of the things I don't like about it. First and foremost, I'm going to address the sheath because this is my absolute favorite thing about the knife. Well, that's kind of putting the knife down a little bit because it's a great knife, but I love the sheath. This is one of the better Kydex knife sheaths I've seen in a long time. So it's set up, as you can see here, to wear on the belt, but that's not all you can do with it. So here's the little snap right here. Let's go ahead and put the knife in so that it's easier to use. Little snap on the outside, as you can see there, pops off like so and wraps around to the back. You can see that there are multiple holes there, making it adjustable. So regardless of how big around, how fat your belt is, you can put this on it. But that also means that you don't necessarily have to put this on a belt. You could sling that through some MOLLE, some straps on your backpack, whatever. You can make this work. And it looks to me, I haven't tried this too much, but it looks to me like I could probably disconnect that, unscrew that, swap this whole thing around, make it so the loop only comes around this side, and so it makes it that much easier to, you know, put around on a backpack or whatever, and really incorporate however you want to incorporate this knife. So that is a huge selling point right there. And I don't know what you call this stuff. It's kind of like that tire tread material where it's fabric and rubber. Anyway, it's that really tough stuff, so this is not going to be giving out anytime soon. But again, one of the things I love about the sheath here is the bend that they did there at the mouth. So as I'm going to draw this, I don't have to yank on it from whatever position it's in. Say it's on my pack right there, I don't have to yank that off my backpack to get it out of the Kydex sheath, because it does have pretty strong retention. I can just press gently on that little bump, get it out slowly. That's what I really, really love about that Kydex sheath, and I wish every Kydex sheath had something like that. As you can tell, it's also pretty minimal in the way that it's formed, the way that it's shaped. There's no Kydex there that doesn't need to be there to support the knife properly. You can also see that it's folded in such a way that we have a little gap there at the bottom to let moisture out, dust out, and so forth. Moving on to the knife, because that's what we're really here to talk about. Let's just kind of address the blade shape, which in my opinion is beautiful. I mean, that is a gorgeous looking blade shape. Very well finished. I'm not sure what you would call this, kind of a, not really a stone washed finish, but it's a very, very nice looking finish on the metal itself. It's just really, really attractive looking. Rounded everywhere, does not have a sharp spine on it. So if you like to have that in order to throw sparks from a ferro rod, this is not designed with that in mind, but the blade shape, the grind on it, the edge is perfect. The tip on it, we could address the tip very quickly and try to address what I'm seeing on it. If you can look at that very closely, I think you'll see that there's sort of a micro sheep's foot at the end of that tip, where it just barely drops down. And having talked to the guys at Rainier Knives, this is actually an intended or an intentional design feature. By doing this, they strengthen the tip ever so slightly. Now let's compare that to, I think what we have in pocket today is the Benchmade bug out. Yeah. If we compare that to the bug out, try to look at the two side by side, the bug out has sort of the opposite of that as far as tips are concerned. It actually comes, it's ground all the way to the very tip, creating a nice, delicate, and also very sharp tip. Not extremely well supported because of its delicacy. However, the Rainier knives, you can definitely argue that it is going to be more supported, tougher over time through different types of cutting than something like that Benchmade Bug Out might be, or other knives that are more backpacker, neck knife style fixed blades like this one. So, is that going to be a downside for you? I don't know. I definitely wanted to point that out though, for those that might get the knife in hand and be like, what the heck? I had no idea that the tip had that sort of feature to it. It's definitely something you want to be aware of. In addition to that, one of the things I was really interested in this knife, and one of the reasons I wanted to get this version of it, this is the naked version of the knife. They've also got it with various types of cord wrapping on it, different colors and Kydex sheaths that generally match the cord wrap. I decided to not get a cord wrapped version of it because I know how to cord wrap something. I've done it myself many times. I did it to this SE Azula right here. So it's no big deal, cord wrapping. I've got the paracord for it. But I wanted to show you what you get with the skeletonized or naked version of it. What you can see there is some cutouts sized to be little wrenches. So I believe this is a 1/4 inch. The rest of these, I'm not exactly positive what size they are, but they vary in size, and you can see that you've got some good functionality in that regard. So it may be some gear on your pack, it may be some gear on your motorcycle or whatever that needs some fixing, some adjusting. You've got that functionality here in this knife. Of course, if you cover that up with your cord, it's hidden, but it's always there. So if you know that you've got it on your knife within that sort of skeletonized body, you can unwrap that paracord, make use of those wrenches. And honestly, I'm glad it's all there. I'd rather have it and not need it, as they say, than need it and not have it. If I didn't already mention it, Elmax is the type of steel we have here on this blade. Rainier Knives logo on that side. Elmax steel, very good steel. I've got that on a couple of Microtechs that I own. Love it. Love it. And having used this, it lives up to the Elmax name. It's well treated. It holds the edge for a long time. Was even shaving some arm hairs off my arm after doing a fair bit of whittling and carving. And that certainly informs us when it comes to the price tag on this knife. How much does this naked version of the Fast Pack cost? Right around 95 bucks at Blade HQ. And I believe the price is about the same on the Rainier Knives website. You can go to the cord wrapped version of it with the matching colored Kydex sheath for just a little bit more, about 105 bucks. Now, going into a couple of technical specs, since we haven't done that yet, our blade length in total is about 2.875. The entire length of the knife is 6.625. Blade width of about 0.75, that's this area right here. Blade thickness of about 0.12. Drop point blade shape, as you can tell there. Handle length about 3.75 from there to about there. The weight on it is where it really shines, 1.32 ounces. So that's outstanding. I haven't seen many knives of any type match that weight, particularly not ones that actually have enough blade to be useful. Using this knife, and we talked a little bit about ergonomics and functionality in the intro, but using this knife without the cord wrap is not going to be as comfortable as using it with the cord wrap. That just goes without saying. But even so, I got some good whittling done with this, some good carving. I would say that you can use this more or less indefinitely in this configuration. I don't mean that you can use it constantly, like for hours and hours and hours, and not feel any ergonomic effects of it. You will, and that's when you're going to decide to cord wrap it. But what I'm saying is you can make this the one little fixed blade knife that you have, again, either on your motorcycle, your ATV, or on your pack, and use that for the little whittling tasks or the little carving and cutting tasks that you have without ever cord wrapping it, and you'll be fine because, you know, for short periods of time, it's not an ergonomic issue at all. For those interested, balance point is right there, right at the finger guard. So it's well balanced, feels good in hand. It's gonna feel a little more handle heavy with the cord on it, but that only means that it'll feel kind of quick in hand and fast in hand and secure in your hand. Let's take a second and put the Fastpak next to another knife that you're probably very familiar with. There's the ESEE Izula. A little bit of a look at the comparison as far as blade length, as far as the blade width on it as well, and the steel, the stock width on it. You can also look at sort of the length of the handle, which is not too different, but we've got a little bit more there on the Fastpak. Just a little bit more to hold on to, not really much at all. It's very, very close. Overall, I'd say that these knives are nearly neck and neck as far as their functionality. You're paying a bit more for the Elmax steel on this guy right here, and in my opinion, cooler, better aesthetic and finish. And that's not to say that the Izula is a bad looking knife at all. It's not, but compared to this, well, I think this one's just better looking. So once again, I want to say thanks to Rainier Knives for sending out this Fastpak full review. I think you guys will agree that I've given it a fair shake and dinged it here, complimented it there. Overall, I like it. Is it worth the $95 price tag? I'll leave that up to you to decide. In my opinion, it's on par with other knives that have similar quality steels and similar quality finishes. So I'm not really turned away by that price tag. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm the Late Boy Scout. We'll see you on the next one.